Comedy.
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 Commedia. Comedy.
Ciao. Welcome to the Comedy Hall.
Vamos a la playa.
Ciao everybody. Welcome to the Comedy Hall podcast. Here we go. We have Ariel.
Yo, yo.
Yo. Jordan.
At Jordan Thomas Gray.
This is Beatrice. And today we have our special guest, Zinger.
Zing.
Zingalingadingdong.
What up, everyone? What up, all three of you watching this shit because you have nothing else to do?
Motherfucking Zinger.
We have at least 70 listeners.
Stop lying, bro. You have 70 listeners.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many YouTube
Congratulations.
subscribers do you have?
Bro, let's not talk about YouTube right now, bro. I want to have a good day. This is...
All right. So
Who is Zinger?
Zingers are fan favorite
Yeah.
stand-up comedian from Zimbabwe.
fan favorite is a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie.
That's a
Listen,
lie.
I'm trying to pick you up, man.
The fan likes
Bro,
you.
I'm
They
the
like
only
you.
person with real haters. You remember that British guy?
Look, you're polarizing, all right? It's better to be polarizing than to be boring.
And also people likes you a lot in the audience. Like every time we call you on stage,
I feel like
People-
they feel sorry for me. There's a difference.
No.
No.
Wednesday's show, I was hosting first half. I was bombing. Everyone was bombing. And then you came on and you killed. You'll always have that.
Okay.
No.
yeah, you did very
Not
well.
always. You'll forget eventually.
Let's-
It was old material that you've done 1,000 times. But yeah, at an open mic. But
Why are you
but
blasting me?
It saved the show. It saved the
Yeah,
show.
it's for the show. It's for the big show coming out on the 4th. Do you guys have tickets? Nope.
I don't know how to get tickets. Also, Zinger, this is the most confusing poster I've seen for a comedy show ever.
Yeah.
It looks like you're about to do hip hop.
Yeah.
Well, it's under this dark waves, guys. So for all of you wondering, I have a show coming up on the 4th. If you
November
wanna
4th.
bring- November 4th.
This will be released after that. So.
Yeah, it might
So
not
I
be
hope you were-
released.
I hope you were
It might
there.
not be released. Chances are I don't have enough people. Like I messaged all my friends and none of them are coming, bro. So yeah, it's just gonna be like fucking me.
But also I'm wondering
And
how
all
many
the
friends you have
comedians.
here that are
yeah,
not
I think
comedians.
those numbers after this weekend.
Zinger messaged me. It probably sent you all the same message. Hey, I need 150 people to
Yeah,
come to the
same.
show. How many people will you bring? And I said, well, I'm going. So that's one.
That's what a lot of people say.
I will
was
be
like,
there.
I'm bringing myself.
No,
And
we
I'm like-
will be there and we will laugh like we
Like
count
you heard
per-
you never heard the jokes before. That's
Exactly.
the problem with comedy. Yeah, when you hear the same joke twice, you're like, ha, that's
But
okay.
honestly, you have this thing that no one else has, that even if you say a joke many times on stage, it's always like the audience like to hear them, those jokes.
Also, like last Tuesday or 2 weeks ago, where you were prepared, or at least you started and finished with no pauses. You were on it. Like I heard those jokes many times, but I was like, holy fuck, this is great.
Oh, really?
Whereas, I've seen you do those jokes with pauses. You forget, you're reading off of your hand, and it's a different story.
Do you actually forget, or is the classic Zinger, what else? And look at your hand. Is that just a bit for you now?
No, it's not a bit. It's like, it's never been a bit. I'll be genuinely fucked. Like,
course.
you'll be standing on stage.
Because sometimes I laugh at it. I
That's
think
the
it's
problem
hilarious.
with forgetting. When you forget on stage, you suddenly remember where you are. You're like, fuck, man. Look at all these people waiting for a punchline, and you never usually have one.
But when you have a set, like when you have a set you're doing and it's nailed down, you destroy. It's just sometimes you show up and it's clear that you haven't thought about comedy in 2 days.
But we are getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay, all right.
Let's introduce Zinger to the crowd that's listening. Just because Zinger,
Yeah.
you're from Zimbabwe. That's a country.
Yeah, it is a country.
Now,
In a country since 1980.
1980.
Yeah,
What was it called
1980.
before then?
Rhodesia.
Rhodesia.
Yeah. It was this guy with the Hitler mustache who sailed across the Atlantic and took it over.
Okay, all right.
His name was Cecil John Rhodes.
Listen, Zinger, tell us about yourself. I'm
Doing
trying
a Jiminy Glick?
Yeah. No, you're called Zinger.
But Zinger is your name. What does Zinger mean?
It's a burger from KFC.
It is. Zinger's a chicken sandwich.
Oh, that was the
chicken sandwich
chicken,
from
bacon
KFC.
chicken?
Chicken, yeah.
I've
this is
always
called a
wanted to be
zinger.
that tasty.
But it's also a joke. It's also a quick joke. A zinger.
Yep.
That's my ukulele. We're in my apartment, by the way.
Oh
at
yeah,
Jordan
we
Thomas
are
Gray.
in Jordan's apartment. Yeah, this is a trashy ass apartment. Jordan.
Trashy apartment. Okay, Zinger. Where do you live? A box?
Okay, before I insult you, I'm gonna take that back because I know you have files.
It's easy to make fun of Zinger.
Zinger owes me 300 pills.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can't really make fun of people or you money, so you just have to be there. Like, yeah, of course. I mean, I love your dog.
But yes, so okay. Zinger came from Zimbabwe, living in Polska. But how long ago? That wasn't a while. That was a while ago.
Yeah, it's been like 3 years, man, and yeah, I mean, it's been fine, but it's been a hard ass 3 years. You know,
Do you miss Zimbabwe?
I miss my parents.
This is the first time I've
I
seen.
miss not paying rent. I miss that.
Oh, that's it. I thought it was more heartfelt.
I miss living with my parents.
I miss an fridge that's like full all
And
the
also
time.
because
Sure.
how old are you?
23.
Young kid.
So
Keeps
you're-
getting older. When I first met you, you were only like 21.
I was
I know,
21.
but it's like and you're almost not a young guy anymore.
It's called time. Jordan.
Yeah,
That's what it's called, time.
It's like, this is-
No, Jordan is a robot. He doesn't get old.
I'm confused. Time is
Time.
moving forwards.
Time is moving forward. I keep staying the same age.
Yes, it's
Don't we all?
time.
Post-pandemic?
Post-pandemic, do what?
Nothing. I was carded at a Carrefour the other day. I had a hat on.
Carded? What the fuck is that?
They ask for your ID if you're trying to buy alcohol.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was an
doesn't
old lady.
happen.
It's Bobches. Bobches think I'm like 15 years old.
Jordan is Brad.
no, you.
That's not a... Looking 15 is not a good thing.
Jordan, you don't look 15, bro.
I know.
You
right?
really
You have
don't
gray
look.
hair.
You have the white
I have gray.
hair.
If I have a hat on, so I have very gray hair. But
But
if
you're
I had the hat
tall
on, I
and-
get carded by
Bro,
old
how
ladies.
blind was this lady?
The other lady, there was two ladies.
Why
they
would
were
you
both
ask for
old.
ID if you can't see the
I
ID?
just took my hat off and said I don't have an ID, and they were like, "Oh yeah."
That's okay.
All right, back to Zinger.
But back to Zinger. Why did you come to Poland?
That's a question I get a lot, and I'm tired of answering it. So I'll answer it for the last time.
On record.
On record, I came here for school.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Right. I was doing architecture for a few years. Actually, 1 year, 3 semesters to be exact. Then I dropped out. Like every rich, successful person that has ever owned a Microsoft company. Elon, shout out to Bill Gates. Shout out to my man, Dr. Dre. Oh shit, he doesn't even... Okay, yeah, all the other guys.
Dr. Dre graduated.
Oh yeah,
He's got a doctorate.
He's a PhD.
Yeah, exactly.
But do your parents know that you dropped?
oh yeah, they know.
They know?
know.
What did they say when you dropped?
Because this podcast, they probably won't listen to this. They said, good luck. They said good luck, but like, I mean, they tried to help, but they couldn't help because, you know, fees was expensive. That's why I dropped out. That's the real reason why I dropped out.
Yeah.
So it was too expensive.
Yeah, it was too much. I couldn't handle it. Plus the fucking doing work, doing school thing for something that I don't want to do in the future as well. Because I wasn't even enjoying the course. I was good at it,
What
but
was
I was not enjoying
what were you studying? Maybe you already said
architecture.
architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm wondering, because you took to comedy, but you also know, like when I talk to you, we talk comedy and you know people I know, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
in Zimbabwe, I'm picturing just like plains, hot weather, and
No
dirt.
trees.
No trees, dirt everywhere.
That's, yeah, I never
like,
saw a
no
picture of Zimbabwe.
buildings.
But
Cows.
like,
Donkeys.
did you watch comedy growing up?
No. Actually, the first comedian I ever watched on TV was Trevor Noah.
And how long ago was that?
Trevor Noah in 2013, 2014.
That's the first time you ever saw him do
2012. That's the first time I saw any stand-up on TV. And the first time I watched it, I was like, I can never do this.
Yeah.
Because he was that smart and he was really clever with what he was talking about and how he was saying it, that I just realized maybe this might be out of reach.
But wait, you
I never considered it, but I was just there like, That's not something I would be able to do. Oh, what is that? A picture?
There's a picture of
Picture of
Zimbabwe
Zimbabwe.
Bears
I
show.
Oh
just
yeah,
Googled
yeah.
Zimbabwe.
This is where you need to go. For all you white people, this is where you need to go. There's fucking fountains, Victoria Falls.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
where you need to go. There's
Victoria Falls
face.
is in Zimbabwe. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the falls
It's a
face.
famous. It's the tallest
Well,
waterfall,
it
isn't
used
it?
to be in the 7th wonders of the world. Then we were bought out
What?
by South Africa. Yeah, they just paid a shit ton of money, and then they put the what is that thing? The mountain, Table Mountain.
Wait, hold on. The 7 wonders of the world can be bought out?
Yeah, well, you can. Actually, you can buy that. Yeah,
Who decides?
that's the thing. Those people can be bought. You just go like, oh, we want our landmark on the 7 wonders of the world.
Is it
So
Victoria
now we're
Falls?
number 8.
But Victoria Falls is the tallest waterfall in the world. Is that right?
I have no
Am I
idea.
thinking
I'm
about the
not
right one?
sure. I'm
No,
not sure.
I don't
No?
think so.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I
I'm
don't
thinking
think
about
it's the
something else.
longest.
Angel
Niagara.
Falls?
That's Niagara
you-
Falls.
have you
Niagara's
seen
just
it?
the most water.
The Victoria Falls. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there twice. Yeah. Actually, I've been there a few times. Once I was 11 years old, and the monkey stole my orange.
Yeah, classic.
And that's
Zimbabwe story.
that's literally all they remember from the trip.
Yeah.
Because I was crying about the orange the whole way back home. And like, you're still talking about the orange. Yeah.
Like, it's a goddamn monkey stole it.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
So yeah, that monkey snatched my orange and I want it back.
Okay.
That's really why I started doing
But
comedy.
okay, back to comedy. Although that is comedy right there.
Yeah,
A
that's
monkey
why I
stole
started
my
doing
orange.
comedy.
Yeah,
A monkey stole my
you
orange.
definitely should write something about
Yeah,
it.
it sounds like it's made up, but like
It's actually a real story. That's
of
my mom
course,
told
I
me.
believe you.
Yeah.
But okay, so when you saw the comedy, you thought, oh, I would want to do this.
I was jealous of what he was doing, but I couldn't.
Sorry, but the mic.
I was jealous. Sorry, I confused it with the phone. My bad. This is very modern technology.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's
sorry,
used to
Jordan.
just oranges.
Is this a sofa or a couch? What is this?
No,
It's a chair. That's a chair.
chair,
Sitting
that's
in
a
a
chair.
chair.
Okay, all right. That's what it's called. Okay, chair.
Zimbabwe.
So no, I'm just learning English as we go along. All right. So where
yeah,
was I? Okay, so
Yes.
I'm watching Trevor. I feel like I can't do it. Then when I came here,
No, but here's the thing. That's what I was going to ask. Is like when I see a piano player, that
you
person's great.
resonate, right?
Yeah, but the fact that your first thought was, "Oh, I couldn't do that," is interesting to me. It means like there's something in you that wants to do it.
There was definitely something in me that wanted to do it. I think it just comes from childhood, bro. You know, when you grow up like me, you're like, if you were me, you were not the most popular guy at school. You were not bullied or anything, or not severe bullying or whatever, right? But like, I was like unknown. Like, basically, I could die tomorrow, or maybe not die. Let's use a different word. I could move from the school tomorrow, and no one would notice. Be like, oh, there's an extra chair. I wonder what happened to the other. They wouldn't know, you know. So I was that feeling of wanting to be seen is probably why I started doing it, and because I came here, and then I started living this normie life. And the pandemic hit. You know, everyone gets depressed during the pandemic, so I just joined the crew, I guess, because it was fashionable to be depressed back then. And that's what happened. And then I watched Dave Chappelle on Netflix, and then no shots at the GOAT, but I was like, I could do this.
Okay.
And
You saw Dave
I
Chappelle, and you were like,
I could
easy.
do this. This is, come on. Because he made it look so
Effortless.
He does
simple.
make it look
Yeah.
effortless.
The way he made it look so simple, I was just there like, man, I could rock the mic harder than this. Watch this.
Right.
Went to Krakow, bombed for 5 minutes straight. The mic, it was so bad. You know, this mic that has this cord that's connected to the mic just fell off halfway through my performance. And then I had to call Addy for some help. You know, Indians always available cheap. And he showed up. So he shows up, he fixes the mic, and then I kept going.
So you didn't know how to plug the mic back in even? Yeah, when you're starting out.
The equipment was holding it was a problem. I was just there like, maybe I should do this. I don't know. Put it under my armpit. You know, I could do comedy under the armpit right there. Hello.
Do you remember any
Yeah.
of your first jokes or bits from that performance that bombed?
I was talking about dry pussy. That's why I bombed.
No one believed you ever.
Oh my god.
Look. For all of you with dry pussy out there, we're trying to help.
Zinger, it sounds like a Zinger problem, not a not a woman problem. But,
Okay.
the first time I saw
And
Zinger,
canceled. Can I have one of these?
Sure, man.
the first time I saw Zinger, his set was all about the other kind of pussy.
Try pussy.
No, the
Vietnamese pussy.
no. Keep going.
Smelly pussy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
oh
it was
my
not
God,
good.
I
And
remember
Zinger,
that.
you've
You
come,
don't like? Okay, let me ask you.
remember.
you've
What's
come
your
so
opinion?
far. You've
No,
come
that
so
was-
far.
What's your opinion on that joke?
It's bad. It's all bad.
It's bad to picture. So when you say this like smelly pussy, I picture it and I don't laugh because I feel like, oh my god, this is disgusting, and it's it.
I think it's more so the joke just sucked. 'cause
joke
you could
wasn't
make
great.
a
I don't
joke
remember the
about-
joke, but I clearly remember how I felt when he said smelly
Sure.
pussy on stage.
Why is
I
smelly
remember-
pussy not funny? That should be funny
It's
on
not-
its own.
You
Yeah.
also used. I remember you saying stinky pussy, which is almost even worse. Just to hear, it's just a
picturing
visceral.
this is
And
yeah.
because there's one joke that we're all thinking of. Maybe you just say the joke right now.
Rick James?
No, all right. The joke I remember, he was like, people were telling me bad things about stinky pussy. I hate saying it.
Oh,
I
fish
hate.
pussy.
God damn.
Oh,
Just shady, like
Just like I feel
Fish
so.
pussy, bro.
well, but
It's
that-
just a different flavor of pussy.
But the joke is that like you didn't like people saying bad things about your favorite food.
Yeah, because pussy is my favorite food.
But like
How is
no
that
one,
not funny?
but no one believes that. One, you've put people off because you're saying these like horrible things that makes everybody cringe, and then like you don't seem like the kind of guy.
You know what's really funny?
that's
What's really
eager
funny
to
is
go
that
down.
you
Is all I'm saying.
You know I don't care. You know that, right?
It doesn't matter if you don't care. I'm talking about.
yeah, Zinger, you do have this shamelessness.
You do.
when you're on stage, which is great. And with that said, for the audience and listening, like it is great to see a comedian perform over and over because I've seen Zinger do horribly where to the point where
terrible sets.
just some terrible.
Dude, the way he dragged the H, horrible.
Just
He's doing
It's
it
just
justice.
a whore.
and honestly, till the point where afterwards I'm hosting the show, and afterwards I'm like comforting you, like, hey, dude, it's fine. Just go on next week, and you're like, fuck this. It's almost like you're suicidal. But I've also seen you do the great, like,
Yeah.
kill.
yeah.
Like I've seen you do amazingly, and when you are sticking to your set and whatever, you do great. So it's not like you are a bomb or you are a great set. You're yourself, and the shamelessness is there, but there also is a heart behind it. It's not like you walk off stage and you're like, I don't give a shit. You do care.
Yeah, no, of course I
but
can.
also I think it changed a lot in the past weeks. Like now, when you go on stage, you have like people laugh even before you start to speak because you have this phase of I am young and like I'm smiley, young, and whatever I'm going to say, it's even if it's tough to hear, you will. Empathize with it or will accept it because I'm young and stupid.
Yeah, and I've said that.
Smart.
I've said that on stage.
You've developed a presence. That's what's
Okay.
changed for me the most. I've seen you for a year, and over that time, you've changed a lot. We've all changed a lot over the
Yeah,
past
we
year.
really have.
But you've developed this presence where you can just go up and like your presence is funny. Like
Yes.
people laugh before you say anything, and even when you're like, "What else?" and you look at your hand, people laugh. Like you've developed
Anyway.
this sense that now, and I'm glad to hear way fewer pussy jokes of any type.
What's wrong with pussy jokes, bro? Can someone tell me what the problem with pussy jokes is? I want to hear from all of you.
Look,
These
Zinger,
are you guys are the hosts.
The audience decides. The audience decides.
Okay,
like,
okay,
it's not, It's not our
that's
decision.
one. What about
I
yours?
challenge you to make this joke about the smelly pussy now, not now on this podcast, but now that you developed your presence on stage, and I think it will go differently because it will go differently. So it's just a challenge. Just try.
And for
If
me,
you want.
I think when you're talking about smelly pussy,
See, you're laughing just saying it.
Dude,
How
I
is
think
that
it's
not
very
funny?
I mean, it can be very, very funny. I just think It's about a smelly pussy joke, right?
Yeah, you need a joke. You need
The joke is the part you need to have.
You need a punchline. That is the punchline.
Actually,
And she was fat.
So we have an inside joke that we'll explain.
I think we're selling you short. Like you have jokes. You absolutely have jokes. And yeah, lately you've been great.
Yeah,
so
doing
it's
great.
It's been
Really,
fun to watch you.
probably the
for
best
sure. But okay, back to Zimbabwe.
Uh-huh.
Because I want to know about your upbringing. I mean, it's kind of boring sometimes to talk about it, but like for me, I've never been there. I don't know what's going on there. I know you, and that's about it.
Okay, so I grew up confused about being poor. Basically, we had a big ass house, but the swimming pool didn't have water. You know, we had cars, but there was no fuel in the cars.
Are you
Yeah.
chewing gum?
No, he's just having a
I'm
candy.
just having candy. Bro, this is your trick or treat shit, bro. This is
That
your
was a
stuff.
mistake. Never put out candy.
This
during
is
the
why
podcast.
people think you're 2 years old, because you're running around with candy in your house and decorations. What is this, Jordan?
It's a pumpkin. We're recording this
Where are your
right
kids?
before Halloween. Anyway, back to Zinger.
Oh shit, I struck a nerve. All right, my
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, someone's trying to lure kids into his home.
I'm just trying to have a festive environment for this podcast. But now people are eating the candy. That's a problem.
You didn't have Halloween in Zimbabwe.
No. The scariest costume, the best costume you could wear was probably a passport.
Because you would leave.
Because everyone wants to leave with you, you know? They're like, so when are we
Oh,
leaving?
yeah.
Okay, that wasn't that funny, but it's
No,
fine.
not that great. But you, because you grew up in the time where there was that huge inflation, or that
Yeah,
was early?
I grew up. Yeah, I mean, it was from '99. I don't really remember much. I only remember like
That's right. You're born in '99.
90.
Yeah, I don't
Jesus
remember
Christ.
anything.
I'm 94.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
one time someone broke into a fucking house.
One time someone
stole-
broke into your house.
Yeah, someone broke into my house, stole the TV. That's why I was emotional about that situation. That's all I really remember from that one house. So we moved to 2006, different house,
Where people don't
better
rob
location, the
Okay.
suburbs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and then we hit inflation hit 07, 08. Those were fucked up days, bro. I remember my dad coming from like he had to go to like Botswana and South Africa just to get food, and it would just come with these canned beef, like just a whole bunch of canned beef, a whole bunch of sugar, a whole bunch of what. The food was horrible during that time. Everyone had diarrhea. It was tough, man. 08 was probably the worst. I wiped my ass with a newspaper.
Mm.
Yeah, that was
In a mansion.
Yeah, in a mansion. So it's like it's one of those things where you're like, what the fuck is going on, bro? We have a swimming pool, no water, like I mentioned before, but it's just like, yeah, it was a different existence. It's hard to explain because it's like there's a lot of land in Zimbabwe. If you go to Zimbabwe, you would enjoy yourself because then you would have a house. You'd probably get a house as well, and you'd have a big yard and shit. But like outside, everything's fucked. Like the roads have potholes, right? The fuel's expensive, but that's only if you're earning the local currency. If you have your US dollars, you'd just be fucking killing it, bro.
Yeah,
You know
sure.
what I mean? So it's a weird existence. But a lot of people, it's for some people it's not really. But I do miss it. I won't lie.
And like, I mean, it's gorgeous around, just like beautiful
It's
scenery.
beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. There's a lot of uninhibited lands.
Mhm.
So like a lot of spaces that are like just free of animals, like different animals. Like that's why I think people here are so relaxed because
There's no animals that can kill you. Yeah.
To be honest, there's low key no animals.
I used
here,
to
bro.
think that about like why did anyone leave Africa? Like why did anyone move to Europe or anything? Like if we all started in Africa, why didn't we just stay there? And like if you think about it, here in Poland, there's no poisonous
There's
spiders.
no
there's-
poisonous spiders, no snakes, no fucking weird ass creatures.
yeah. It's
Four
like
wings
easy.
and shit, bruh.
Wait, what's
No, you didn't know? There's dragons in Zimbabwe? You didn't know that shit?
House of the Dragon? dragon is true and it's set in Zimbabwe?
It's House of Wakanda. That's
Yep.
what it is.
But seriously, agriculture is so much easier in Poland when there's like land and no animals to fuck with you.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
it is a
Go ahead.
crazy reason to, to get out of a place when everything can kill you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Anything can kill you. That's the joke that I had, the premise I was trying to develop one time when I was talking about why Africans are so loud. It's because a lot can kill you, bro.
And you got to stay loud so
you
the
gotta be
animals
like,
stay around.
run! You can't just be like, run. That's Jordan. That's Jordan. Run.
No, stop.
Oh my God, stop.
Oh, a bear.
Oh shit, you're
Look.
dying. Oh my
Oh
God.
no.
He's
Now, did you
eating you.
actually wait? Did you ever learn to hunt growing up in Zimbabwe? Because in Canada, like everyone around me knew had a gun and knew how to hunt and shit.
Only the white people hunted. You know, this is what I always say. White people in Africa are more African than Africans. Because they spend days and years in the fucking bushes. They go camping. They do while at least all the black people, they do the exact opposite. No, I'm going to get an office. I'm going to get an apartment.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to get cars.
I get
I'm
it.
going to get bitches.
So the opposite of white people.
But would you go to live back to
Honestly,
Zimbabwe?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't see where I used to have an idea of where I want to stay in the future. Like when I was growing up, my goal was to stay in Canada or the US or UK or Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, those were my 5 countries. And then I realized all of them are trash when I grew up.
Yeah,
When
sure.
you do some research,
Yeah,
when you
of
go
course.
on YouTube and you don't just rely on the news and limited experience or fancy flyers, like come to Canada.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I started to realize there's bigger social issues over there.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't want to stay in a place that socially inhibits me. But Poland is okay, but I don't know, man. I don't know. We're just too close to Russia, bro.
Yeah, it scares you.
Yeah, it fucking scares me. Every 2 minutes, I'm like, why am I coming up with a new joke? A nuke's gonna blow up tomorrow. That shit's like, oh.
Even moving back to Zimbabwe, we're ignoring the fact of doing comedy professionally, because if any of us keep going, we'll just keep doing this more and more. And so any opportunity we have is the place we're living in will
Right.
provide it. So
Right.
with you, I've seen progress already. And so you just keep going and then you're going to be able to do this for a living. So, you can't be moving back to Zimbabwe if there's no comedy clubs or whatever
Yeah,
it would be.
there's one comedian I've seen, but he does solo shows.
You could start it. Counterpoint is that so Dragos,
Zagosh.
he was talking about doing comedy in Spanish because his girlfriend lives in Mexico.
Okay.
And so he's going to move there, learn Spanish, and start doing comedy in Spanish because there are so few people doing it in Spanish. It's called the blue ocean theory of economics, that if no one is doing it, and if you're one of the only people,
If you're the
you can
first
make
person,
the first
you
person
make
or one of the only
most
people.
bag. He's right
so the
up
counter.
there.
So then you could just start your own shows, create the community and be the guy is a way that you could do it. And now Beatrice wants to say something.
Yeah, I am the only Italian lady doing it in English in the world.
Beatrice is bragging.
No, is that true?
It's true.
That cannot.
Wait, hold
Julia
on.
does it in English.
Who?
The person we
I was
met at the show.
Julia did it in
Julia
English.
did it in English.
Who's Julia?
Julia in Rome.
No, but I mean, she does it in English in Italy, and she did it sometimes, right? She does it in Italian, and then she translated in English. I do it in English. I was the first. I mean, it's a thing.
I don't speak Italian. I can.
No, I'm telling you.
Italian. I don't
It's not-
speak
No,
Italian.
but it's. I'm not bragging. It's a fact. There is no other Italian comedian living not in Italy,
Okay.
abroad, that does comedy. We
That's
have
very
now. We have now because the scene is starting now in English in Italy. So there was no English show. We brought English show in Rome. We from Poland, us, the comedy hall.
Right.
Yeah, actually, okay, I have a theory on this. Quote me if you quote me.
In
but,
the war.
my thing is there's a huge English scene in Europe, but there's no one telling the jokes they wanna hear. You know what I mean? So I feel
No.
like
No, they want to hear
Go
about
on.
sticky pussy, is what you think?
no, not that. They are. I feel like there's a big market, and if you could just, because there's no big names coming out of Europe in English.
Yeah.
There's only big names coming out in whatever language they're speaking, French or whatever.
Okay.
But if someone was to like really commit to it, they could take over Europe, bro. It's an open market.
Wait, what are you saying?
Like you could become as big.
Like if people tried, they could get big in Europe doing English.
Yeah,
people
yeah.
People are trying.
People are trying, but it's
I don't know if
failing.
you're looking around you.
Okay,
but
I
yeah.
guess, I
also,
have
but
limited.
with that said, if it takes like, let's say 10 years to become a pro comedian on a level where it's, worldwide pro, then it's true. Europe is a huge market for people.
It's
like
huge, yeah.
It's like I thought about this moving here anyways for music. Like, first of all, in Canada, there's 40 million people, and America's 350, a little more now.
Right.
But like in Europe as a whole, it's like 500, 600 million people. Even if half speak English, which might be even a low number,
Yeah.
like it's a market.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
At some point, English stand-up will break open in Europe, and you just want to be one of the top
Right
20,
there,
50
yeah,
people.
That is true.
Because then it's going to take a while for people to catch up.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all trying to do.
yeah,
right now.
that's literally what it
It's
is.
early in the
Yeah.
scene. It's like, I don't think 10 years old for English comedy in Europe.
A few years.
I
it'll
don't know
happen
if
in a
that's
few
true.
years.
I
I
think
think
making
in
it
the
up,
next 5.
I think in 3 to 5 years.
Basically, in the next 5, some shit will go down and Netflix will be moving all their comedy specials here.
But my disagreement is people are trying. Like
Okay,
people are even touring around,
Maybe-
not just
maybe
around Poland,
okay.
but around around Europe. People are doing it, and those people pretty much will have space if they're still around when things break open.
Yeah.
And hopefully some of us also will too if we keep at it.
Yeah.
And you as well, Zinger.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's my intention. Yeah.
And also, like, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, this is how I feel about it. I know you have a little bit more, maybe not drive, but urgency with how quick you want to do stuff. But for me, it's like, this is a marathon. Like, shout out Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Like, this is a marathon. Like, we're like, you got to be patient with everything. And it's hard to be patient when you're young, but like,
It is.
you learn patience as you grow older because things don't happen immediately, but that doesn't mean they will not happen.
That's the thing with being young is when you're being young, you just want everything to happen like overnight.
Yeah.
Also, when you are born in the 94.
Yeah.
Yes,
Beatrice is young, everyone. She wants you to know that she is
it's just
very
that
young.
I disagree with this in the fact that for me, in this environment in comedy, the most eager you are to get where you want to be, most probably you will get there. Like, passion is not for comedy. Like, you can, of course, you cannot be a famous comedian in a year because maybe you don't have enough material. But if you work hard,
Yeah, no,
It's-
if you just
it's-
like stay consistent
Yeah.
and you need to pick like a preparation, like a pre-match preparation strategy, like whatever you're supposed to do before. You just have to have a routine or a regime before you get on stage, Like all of these must be checked. Like I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that, I need to make sure I've slept this much, I need to make sure I've eaten this. I believe in that preparation thing, but like I don't always get it right. Actually, I get it wrong most of the time. As a matter of fact, I've only ever done it once. So
I think, Zinger, you just have to keep doing comedy and then and focusing on it. And eventually, because 23, 24 is a rough period. I think we all know that, like, for me, I torpedoed opportunities because I didn't get everything all at once. And so I was like, fuck this, and blew it up. Don't do that. Just you have plenty of time. You're already doing well. Like, more opportunities will come. And if you just stay with it, and don't get discouraged if things don't happen immediately. I think your future is very bright, is my opinion. Yeah. That's all I want to say.
I think that's what I mean by also because, yeah, Bea, you're right. That is, if you're eager and you have drive and you want to change, you will. And so that's absolutely true. I just think that a lot of this, especially comedy, when you're going on stage in front of a new crowd every week, it's learning to have an arsenal.
Yes.
And so it's gaining, you just have to constantly be gaining skills. So therefore, if someone yells at you in the middle of your punchline, you already know what to say. You're ready for it. And so everyone has their different path. Like Jordan right now is touring around after a year, which is awesome. I don't think that's a stupid idea. I think that's great.
That's a good idea.
Especially
risky for sure.
It's
but
risky,
I think it made sense.
But awesome. I think it's great. That isn't the path I'm on because we're on like different urgencies, I guess. But I do like that. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. I know for myself, I don't post as much because I'm like, let me wait until I'm at a skill set where I feel comfortable with everything. It's like going camping. Okay, You go camping once, you forgot to bring a bowl, and you're like, "Fuck! I could have boiled water, and I don't have that ability now." Next time you go camping, you're going to bring a bowl. You're going to bring extra things, a knife with a corkscrew, all these kind of shit, tiny little tools, which will make the camping experience better.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot to do with comedy, where you're just like, the more I just go every week, I'm constantly like writing and going up. And therefore, I have more and more tools as I go up. That's all I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking like of touring as well, like early, maybe mid-November, all the way up to December. Maybe I'll do part of January, and film something in February when I come back to Warsaw. Like again, well, I won't have it's not like I'm gonna go and not come back. It's just gonna be like up and down, the whole of November, December, maybe January, and then film something in Feb. Put it on YouTube. Yeah,
I will say in the scene we're in Europe, where there's not really infrastructure, no one's going to be like, "Hey, we're going to book you a tour." Necessarily.
Yeah, that is
the
true.
hardest part of doing a tour. Me being halfway through one is. Booking the things and promoting the things. Promoting is the most essential thing, because you could have the best show ever and no one shows up.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So getting people to show up is the single hardest thing.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with comedy.
Right.
Nothing at all.
That is true.
That
is true.
So you have to have people in Europe have to develop the marketing skill set to succeed.
I'm actually glad Jordan went on tour, because I foresee that if he had not, we would still all not think about going on.
No one was talking about touring.
No one was talking about it.
Now everyone is asking me.
But I remember I was thinking of doing it, but I didn't know the timeline.
Right. Yeah.
But then once you started explaining what you kind of need, then I realized, why not just do it tomorrow? I'm just delaying the inevitable. Because it's not going to grow any bigger.
I think it's very true.
You have the guys who come at the hole. I appreciate all of them. And I hope they keep coming back. But I want to give them new material. All this old stuff has to go somewhere else. It has to be presented. Has to be toured around, I guess. Thrown at people, new people. Because it's not fair to tell the same joke twice. I feel guilty.
Yeah, of
personally.
course.
I've been there where I'm on stage. I'm like... And you laughed at this week. You have to laugh at this next week.
Yeah.
Also,
that's painful for you.
Yeah.
Sure. I believe that touring is important because, or anyway, going to do stand-up in another city, it's great to understand that the audience is always different from city to city, and your material, you need to tailor it. Because, for example, you have some jokes about Warsaw that you will need to, like Jordan has some jokes about Poland or about Barcelona. I don't remember, but you had some jokes that you were able to tailor for the city where you were. Yeah. So touring is part of growing as a comedian in the sense of what you were saying, doing the marathon, and not touring solo show. Like you can also tour with another comedian, or like we did the three of us. It's always good to see other scenes.
And people have been asking me about this, and my suggestion is always like, one, if I didn't have the songs, I wouldn't be touring. I have like 25 minutes of songs that just work. Yeah. And then probably 30 minutes of material that also works. And also I've hosted at this point dozens of shows, so I also have the hosting skill set. People should team up, because some people have like plenty of material. Some people are like better at crowd work and hosting.
That is
and
true.
like find people that because I also, before I did the solo thing, did it with you guys, B and Ariel, and like with Ariel, with B, my first shows were with you in places, and we had someone else headlining. You have to work up to it. And it's very fun to see everyone like, yeah, fucking tour. But it's like there's a lot of things you have to do before.
With that said, though, like, I mean, you to shout you out, and I can insert the Jordan is bragging because you don't have to brag for yourself. Jordan is bragging. But to brag for you, like, you are like a little bit of that 4-minute mile thing where the first guy who ran a 4-minute mile, no one thought it was possible. Second, he did it like a month after everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
And so, like, for you to tour an hour show after a year of comedy is like, doesn't make sense in the term, in like, for everyone.
People told me this. Experienced comedians told me, don't do that.
Yeah, and
they were high.
Listen, we're lucky because we're in like Poland, and so it's like a new thing here, and so, you know, a good show is just a good show, so people are okay with it. If they had maybe some comparison, maybe it would be
Bill
tougher.
Burr was touring around, then I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
Exactly. But with that said, it is an inspirational thing to do. Not only, of course, it's for yourself and for your own show, but it was very, like, it's an interesting, inspirational thing for all the comedians who are in the scene.
To show that it's possible. Like, if you're willing to put in the effort to book the show, promote the show, you feel you have an hour that's solid, you think you can...
put on an hour show.
Put an hour show, and also just manage the crowd during. Yeah. Like, be comfortable with crowd work. I think many of us can do that, and they're just putting in the prep and all the work for it. And then the first show will go okay. So I suggest people putting on like a free show first, which is what I did. Yeah. And if that goes well, why the fuck not? Yeah. You know, if a free show goes well, people will pay to see it. There's almost no comedy happening in any of these cities.
As Jordan was saying, you need to have a business mentality. Like, you are a brand. Like, when you are a comedian and you want to promote yourself, you need to promote yourself like you are a business. So to sell a show is not just a matter, I have, as you were saying, 1 hour of material and I can do crowd work, I can do everything. But then you need to sell yourself before, so people buy the tickets and they come to the show. So you need to think about, okay, not only I have 1 hour of material, but I have a strategy, marketing strategy, business strategy to do that.
A marketable name for the show. Like, I see shows being promoted that like just look like something I wouldn't want to see, and that has nothing to do with the comedy.
Me and Martin, we want to call our tour the Salt and Pepper Tour. So
Salt and Pepper is a very famous name. I might sue you.
Yeah, so the Salt and Pepper Tour.
It would be
Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah, November and December.
And would you host? Because you have more of a...
I would not host.
I've seen Martin do good crowd work. I think Martin could do a good job.
I don't think it would be any hosting. It would just be back-to-back 45 minutes.
Someone's got to interact with the crowd for 5 to 10 minutes before the show. Like, someone has to do that.
Jeez.
If you get up there and just start doing material, it's weird. Like,
I don't know. I actually recently saw you, Zinger, go up on stage, and you did something that, like, I haven't seen any of the comedians in the Warsaw scene do without failing. You went up, and instead of talking to the audience, being like, what's going on, guys, whatever, you just went, when I was growing up, and you went right into a story, and immediately I was on your side.
But that's the middle of a show. That's the middle of an open mic.
It's possible, though.
It's possible, but it's not reliable.
Well, and actually, that's what I want to do. But I get what you're saying, and I think you may be right. That's why even professionals have openers and stuff. So it's a bit ignorant for me to think that I can just come out without greeting anyone.
Right.
I would just like to see this.
And so I just, I was hanging out in Africa, and, that makes no sense.
It's possible to do.
But it's possible,
But I think you will encounter, is my opinion, encounter shows where
Pushback.
It doesn't go well. And then, but you want every show to go at least decently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can find any type of strategy. For example, you do 5 minutes at the beginning, then Martin goes up, he does, I don't know how much time, 30 minutes, and then you go, and then, so you can kind of host... What? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing at things. Keep going.
Yeah, so you can find any strategy you can. For example, if you do the show in Warsaw, someone else can host you guys. You can find connections in the city where you.
And also, I think it's also possible in Spitałna,
In Krakow.
Krakow. But anywhere else, maybe not.
They'll do that for you. Yeah, they'll Mark will host. They'll find you support.
What about
Wrocław?
Wrocław and
I'm
other
sure they would
cities.
also do the same thing. If you
Okay, they
asked.
would always have someone who introduces.
You need to
Not
ask.
for my show, but you would have to ask.
Okay. So I'll just
But
do that.
try also to do it by yourself, because first you learn something new and then you need to rely on your.
That's what I was
Self.
laughing at before, is because because it would be very funny to see Zinger go up on stage, lights go down, and there's a spotlight, and Zinger's just like, when I was 13, living in just like a one-man show
It
of
can
Zinger,
work.
it would be very funny, man.
It can work, and I've thought about just not doing any of that, just opening with a song, right?
Yeah.
like I've thought
Not
about
saying anything,
and
you-
I should
why not?
try.
I mean, I've watched plays. Like people in Poland especially are really ready to watch a theater show, and so
Right.
so it would be. I mean, I don't think you should do this, but it was funny image just to you come out in a suit and there's a spotlight on you, and you're like,
When I was 15 years old,
Yeah.
What I will say, Beatrice, before you go, like what I will say is, like, from doing the shows, unless you're going to hire people,
right?
you got to be the one taking the tickets, setting everything up. They're going to see you running around. They're going to probably meet you. They're going to meet you for sure if you're taking tickets. And then it's funnier to me, but then kind of you coming out in the spotlight.
I think it's a funny.
After promoting your entire show,
That's funny.
and then pretending like you don't know anyone in the crowd. Yeah, just like when I was.
Because I have to do that, and I'm like, hey, you probably know me from over there. And one guy, I was taking tickets, and he was like, I feel like I know you, and I've seen you somewhere.
Okay.
And I was like, is it from the poster? And he said, yeah, you're the guy in the poster. Why are you
right.
taking tickets? Like, this is the reality of.
Okay, you go.
Yes, I go. So two things. One is you can host one of our shows, for example, to try it out.
Yeah.
And you can start the show as you want, and you see and you check how it is. And then the second one, hosting is part of the experience that the audience will have. And in the way you host, it will like the show will go based on the way you will host, because you are not a famous comedian. People don't know you. So it's not that you have already credibility. You go on stage, you have credibility. No one knows you. And you want people to have a nice experience, right? So for example, Filippo in Berlin, when he was hosting the show, he would be outside the place and like in his extravagant way welcome people in the show. So people, because the venue was not big, was not 100 seats, it was like 50 seats, so the people see you, and it will be weird that you are the host and you are having an hour show and you do not say hi to the people. That will be weird, right? And the people will be like, what the fuck is going here?
But again,
Go
I
ahead.
want to see that.
Yeah.
And I think this is the value of, like when I was testing the show, I went to Lublin, don't know anyone in Lublin, and just saw how it was. And I think this is a model that I'm only saying people should do it because I did it and it worked. Is it go to some fucking random city, find a bar, and then just do the thing that you want to do and see if it works, and just have it be free.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it works, fucking great, repeat it. But I think people have this idea that they should just start an hour show, charge a lot, go to a place, have a format that's not been tested, and I think that's a recipe
for
disappointment. Again, it could work, but like I think you should test something as a free show in some random city. Is like
that's what I'm doing with Warsaw, but it's not on the 4th. That's basically what that is. Except it only charges 25. The charge is 20. I mean, 20 zloty. But it's like, even with that 20 zloty, people are really not paying to see the comedy. They're paying to see the artists, because there's like several artists performing after me, like that are doing rap, hip hop, whatever, right? And it's a party. It's a whole party. It's a whole experience. That's what they're paying for. So even if you had to like take the ticket price, I would be getting like what, 1.5 zloty. That's the value that I add to that ticket price. There's other heavy hitters there. So, okay, basically I'm practicing there. That's
you're
the
practicing
ground.
the set. But
Right.
you got to practice the show.
The beginning.
I think there will be, of course, that'll come hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah, it will. I think it will come hand in hand.
Listen, if it goes, I mean, I hope it doesn't, but if it goes terribly, that's a great lesson also
Yeah,
for the
you also
show.
learn
I think
a
it'll go
lot.
well. But
It will go well.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so
It
too.
will.
I think so too. But all I'm saying is that every aspect of failure in the show would be a learning lesson anyway.
And Zinger learns from bombing better than anyone I know. you'll bomb 3 times in a row, and then you'll kill harder than anyone's killed in weeks. It's a
I think
very
it's called
valuable
going
skill.
back home and saying, "Okay, I need to be serious about this shit."
Yeah, you got a little urgency.
What do I do?
More
bro?
urgency
You
than-
dropped out of school to do this, and now you're bombing every night. Come on, bro.
Yeah. I just remembered that there was one Tuesday where you bombed and I was literally comforting you and you were like, yeah. And you were like dismissing every word I'm saying. I'm just trying to tell
What
you like,
was I supposed to say, bro? Like, yeah, man.
I know, but it was so funny to be like, oh, Jesus, I hope this guy doesn't kill himself.
Yeah, because sometimes, when a comedian can handle a bomb, like the fact that he's bombing, and when someone needs, why you are laughing, looking at me again?
You
We're
got
in a good
stupid
mood.
face.
I have a stupid face. And for example, if Jordan bombs, you a bit like you giggle, like you are.
Yeah, I do
people
like-
enjoy
Yeah,
you do
watching
like-
someone
Yeah,
extremely
of course.
talented fail.
But
Who
if
doesn't like watching
Zinger
that?
bombs really hard, I feel bad and I want to go to him and hug him. It's like different. I also, if I see Jordan bombing, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but I know that he's like, okay, fine, that's it.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
the shape of things, and I'll learn. And I turned my worst bomb at Recreator recently until the closing part of my
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
So it's yeah.
But I really appreciate it. Like I was like, he's bombing so hard that everyone hates him, but he's staying there, and I really appreciate that. Like because you were like, okay, I will not give up now. Like let's see
Also,
where I
I
can
had
go.
to do it.
Let's see where I can go.
I had a show in 3 days that did not have an ending for.
It was.
And
I
yeah.
appreciate.
You know what the reason is also specifically with you, Zinger, is like when you bomb or when you do well, you're always yourself on stage. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. I've seen Jordan bomb where I see more nervousness or there's some change in
Yeah.
your demeanor. And same with me. If I go up on stage and I'm doing some sort of like something and it's not working well, and like you'll see it visibly on my demeanor.
Personality switch.
Yours is more like you do some joke, let's say smelly pussy, whatever. That's not a joke I've seen in a long time, but like let's say you're doing that. You're still you doing it. No one's laughing. You're like, and then you keep going. You are still yourself on stage. And so I think that's why it hurts more to watch you bomb than it would to someone who's just fucking bombing and you're like, what an idiot.
Yeah,
Like Jordan.
I think Zinger
Stupid
gets
Jordan.
sad. I think Zinger gets sad when he bombs. That's why people then are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for you." It's like because you can see from your face that he's like, "Oh, this is not working." And now what I do?
Yeah.
Is when I feel still new as a comedian, right? Is these times when like things are going well and I can feel that I should be holding my ground like Zinger does, but I kind of just don't. Like I haven't yet.
Yeah.
It's only been a year. I haven't developed that instinct. Zinger just already kind of has that presence regardless, and it's
Okay.
difficult to
How do-
teach. It takes other people years to get there.
I'll dispel a few things. The one thing that I don't think. Okay, you said that you maintain frame when you bomb. No, I don't, sir. There's days when I've had a joke and I don't even say the last sentence because my brain is already telling me
Yeah.
like, listen,
Yeah, fair.
you are about to bomb this next sentence. Shut the fuck up. Do something. There's Jamaicans in the crowd. Tell them that they look nice. Do something.
Yeah.
It's literally like my personality forces me to just like, fuck it, throw that paper away. This is not gonna work. I'm telling you, this is not gonna work. Mayday, mayday, mayday,
But
right?
that's not a bad instinct.
It's not a bad instinct, but I will say the idea of I just brush it off is definitely not.
You know what? Then what to correct what I was saying? It's more so to read your demeanor, like seeing you from externally, then you can't tell. Whereas, for instance, for me, I've had this before where I don't like someone and they know immediately, and like I don't know how to hide it. All my emotions are showing on my face.
Yeah, just like your demeanor changes.
Yeah, it's just like this person annoys me, and then I'm just immediately they know.
But you say I have the poker face on stage.
You have a little bit of a poker
I,
face, yeah.
No, I don't agree. I really see that he turns sad.
Maybe Ariel and me are just less sympathetic than Beatrice could be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
Probably. Yeah, I don't give a shit about it.
Well, I think it's hilarious in Zinger bomb. Me and Ariel are giggling.
Yeah, no, that's what Jordan.
My favorite shows are when people are bombing it, and I just think it's fucking hilarious. It's funny when I bomb.
Laughter
Yeah.
during my bombs needs to stop.
Yeah.
I cannot help it. It's
No,
uncontrollable.
I really appreciate Jordan laughing when someone bombs.
It's the most, and because he snorts, that's even worse. You hit and then you're like, bro.
Oh, you're talking about him off stage, laughing at comedians.
Yeah,
bombing.
Yeah,
okay.
that shit
Yeah.
is so evil, bro. It's him
Yeah,
and
that's
Ravi.
fine.
Him and Ravi love doing that
Yeah,
shit.
sure.
Because in a set where there's supposed to be dead silence, you just hear,
Yeah.
you just hear that shit.
Yeah.
No, for me, this helps.
This helps, yeah. Because someone's having
Are
a
you
good
kidding
time.
me?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just keep doing you. I'm not complaining about it, but my opinion on it would be, bruh.
Yeah, of course, because you're bombing.
Shit, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, because you're bombing.
You would prefer complete silence.
Yeah, I'd rather prefer that dead, that dead silence so you can hear a pin drop. I prefer that. Because then something
Not
in your
possible
brain's
to
like,
have.
Fuck. No, do you know why it helps though? Sometimes, okay, let me explain. Sometimes when he's laughing, there's people who are listening to the set who are now listening to Jordan's laughter and are wondering why they are not laughing. And you are on stage still trying to convince them that you're funny. Hello! Hey! Me, Jordan, shut up! That's how many times have I said that?
Sure.
Jordan and Ravi, shut the fuck up!
I really like when Jordan laughs at other comedians.
man.
Also when I'm on stage and I know that like I'm bombing or anyway my joke doesn't make any sense and I hear his laugh. It's funny. Like I'm like I enjoy more my time on stage.
You're part of it. We're in it together.
Because I'm like I know that what Jordan is thinking, that I say this word in a weird way or whatever else. And the weird part is that he records my sets. Then, if you watch all my videos, there is always Jordan laughs.
At the end of the video, subscribe to.
My favorite thing about comedy is watching people bomb.
Yeah, it's great. It is
I won't lie to you. There's sets that I think that's what it was with me as well. I remember the first time I started, it was at your show on a Tuesday. Come to that show, longest standing show in Warsaw. But I was on stage. I was sitting out back, and there was this one unfunny comedian. His name was Anton.
Okay.
Like no one got his jokes at all.
Okay.
But I was dying. But he was talking about the craziest of shit. It's like, then I pulled the shit from my bum hole. Then I started twisting. Dog. And I was just
That's
there
the
like,
stinky pussy shit you love.
bro, I was just there dying. I almost died listening to Anton. I couldn't breathe. I had to leave the room. And it was, but then I did the courtesy of not laughing out loud.
No, it's uncontrollable, man. I can't control what I'm doing.
No, I feel you. I feel you, man.
Well, there's
keep doing it. But the observation I've made, it's hilarious.
There's two during bombs comedian laughs. Like the first is that like the jokes are just really good and the audience doesn't appreciate it, so the comedians are appreciating it for them. And then there's the meta comedy laugh of either.
That's the one I like.
That's the one that I like because it's like about I see what's going wrong or like I see the mistake and it's just I don't know. It's just very
you fucked up.
But
You
also-
mispronounced that word. Oh shit! You said ginger for finger. Oh.
But also, I think this happens when there are your friends on stage.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
Oh,
saw
if-
when there are people that you don't know, you don't love.
If someone I don't know and doesn't know me, like no, I lock it up because like that's just being an asshole. I just had a realization.
I think that also, I mean, to quote my favorite Norm Macdonald, where he said, if you're going up on stage with the intention to make people laugh and no one laughs, that's funny. Like comedy is about surprise.
Yeah.
And your whole thing is supposed to make people laugh and you're not laughing.
good.
That's
That's good.
pretty funny.
That is funny. Yeah.
Like that's already funny in
Yeah.
itself. So it is funny for a comedian who knows that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Of course, we love sitting back and like actually every time that's lots of fun in a raqueta. Like we're in the back, no one's laughing in the front with anyone, not just you. It's so much fun to just watch them fucking eat a dick.
How do I? What's my face when I bomb? No, because all of you described your bombing moment.
I'm trying to think. I think it's more so you abandon things quicker. You're a little bit more nervous when you're bombing.
Okay, guys. You say guys a lot.
You switch up. You're a little bit.
Yeah, you do.
You go like, "What's this can of Coke? Oh, maybe this."
Okay.
More like that. Maybe I'm trying to think though.
And here's a technical thing that we see Filippo do the like stuttering speech of like changing suddenly like, oh, I was in the store the other day. Oh, a lemon. Oh, anyway, who likes democracy?
Yeah.
You do that, but before any discernible thought has been delivered. Anyway, so I was. Okay, all right. Who likes? And that's when it goes wrong because like people are just confused.
I know. I'm trying not to do that.
So basically, you glitch on stage. That's what happens.
I glitch. I don't talk about when I host because when I host, sometimes I just don't know what to say. So I'm like trying to occupy the space of time. But when I'm on stage, for example, on Tuesday.
But that's why I'm saying like I'm trying to think because I don't know how true that is because I've seen you not be nervous on stage and do the same thing than when you are nervous. But I think it's more so you are abandoning more.
You need to give yourself more time for the audience to get what you're doing and like more try uncomfortable pauses maybe like longer than you're comfortable with like. And then you'll land on.
And didn't you say I told you some advice where it's like you could just take Jordan?
Take a set to bomb.
Just take a set to bomb. Just stand and do nothing.
I did in Barzar when I sat on the chair and for 7 minutes I was just bombing. You remember?
And it gives you a power on purpose.
Yeah. Not on purpose. I didn't want to bomb, but at one point after 1 minute I realized I'm going to bomb for the entire set. And I sat and I was like, okay, guys, I'm bombing and we are on this together.
So someone mentioned me bombing properly. Was it you, right?
Maybe, yeah.
That I don't believe that because the idea of bombing properly for me is getting as serious as possible with no intention of being funny and just talking from the heart. Mm-hmm. That's bombing properly for me because then you start to make connections, you make realizations. You're on stage, you start talking deep and stuff. I've never seen anyone do that. Patrice O'Neill used to do that a lot, where you just sit in front of an audience. He has to do 20 minutes. He does 50 of nothing. Just sitting there and bullying people, complaining, shouting, doing this, doing that. Prior, I used to do it two-way. You'd come on. It felt like you was talking to ghosts. Or people who are just not even alive at that point. And that's the art of getting to a good joke, is if you can bomb long enough to find the right train of thought. Because not everything is like, there's a lot of surface level jokes that people can tell. Things that you can come up with, you know. But for you to get jokes that no one else has ever even said or thought deeper into, that's what separates you from the next guy. That's what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. But then I've never been able to do it because every time I get on stage and then I realize how unfunny I am. Right, exactly. There's something in my brain or inside my heart that just goes, listen, bro. No.
It's about owning the stage and being comfortable up there and confident and be like, yeah, I belong here. Yeah. Even if the audience doesn't think so. Just owning it.
I think that comes with experience and not only comfort on stage, but also like a sense of a bigger picture than, because there's a certain amount of selfishness that comes with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I'm doing this because I'm not thinking about this show. I'm thinking about the whole picture. And so it's tough to do that when you're just doing a 5-minute spot and just want to be as good or the best in the show.
Exactly. And you'd try and do it for an hour. But what happens is, like, then you've thrown a show that has lasted an hour with unfunny material and you've basically disrespected your fucking
audience.
Your audience. You've basically marketed this brilliant show like, I've got punchlines. Then you come on the day and all you do is just like fucking
this fuck around.
It's like a therapy session.
And that's annoying for the audience and all that kind of stuff. So okay. So Zinger, It was awesome having you.
Yep.
You're a
guys.
great staple of the Warsaw community.
Yeah, we
Thank
love you.
He's getting handshakes from all of us now.
I'm keeping
Yeah.
it formal these days. I've been taught to be. It's painful to be polite, but
I've been trying to
Jordan,
teach Zinger how to be polite. Right,
It's
Zinger?
painful to be polite.
Okay, all
Maybe
right.
that's the name of the
Painful
talk.
to be polite.
Painful to be polite.
That's the good name.
That's a good name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
Right.
Good. It's great to have you. It's great to have you also performing, and you're constantly performing. So it's fun to have you at the shows.
Hey,
And lately you've been doing great, and I hope your November 4th show does amazingly.
I hope so too, man. A lot
And-
riding on this.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, not like, hey, if it goes great, great. If it doesn't, like, you're a talented person who's gonna work hard and keep going. And I expect great things. If you just keep fucking doing it, it will happen.
Yeah. I shall not.
And we will come and Jordan will laugh at the back.
I will laugh in the back regardless. I'll laugh if it's funny.
Oh,
I'll
please
laugh if
record
you're
it.
bombing.
It will be recorded, right?
Yeah,
I want to see it.
But you can't be there.
I'm in
No,
Canada.
I don't think
okay.
I'm gonna film it and put it on YouTube. I think I'm just gonna keep it and see what.
And see it, yes. Yeah. Especially as your first half-hour shows. so.
First half hour to see where we are. But then when we talk about like, because if this goes well, this isn't just like for me. This is for the whole Warsaw community
Of
to
course.
realize that we can fucking do it. Because Terry claims he doesn't have 20 minutes, but I disagree.
He's got at least 7 minutes and 38 seconds.
I think he could
Terry absolutely does.
Terry could absolutely do 30 minutes of material, but when he goes on stage, he'll do 4.
Yeah.
That's what happens with Terry.
Terry, we love you.
Terry.
Yeah, Terry, we're just joking
One
around.
of our 70 listeners, by the way.
We're just joking around with the absolute truth.
Terry.
And that's how we end the Zinger show. Ladies and
Thank you so
gentlemen,
much.
Thank you so much, Zinger.
thank you, Zinger.
Guys, appreciate the opportunity. Shout out to D Flames, Peanut Butter, and my dog.
Word up, man.
All right.
Chunky Smooth.
Ciao.
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 Ciao. So guys, follow the Comedy Hall on Facebook, on Instagram. Check out our shows. We will be so happy to talk with you. Also, if you have any suggestion about possible topics for this podcast, reach out. If you want to be part of the podcast, reach out. If you're a comedian and you stop by Warsaw, come and we will have fun together on stage. So, ciao.